If time is the most important thing above all other things to you, then wasting time watching another of my Relief Factor commercials must be the greatest waste of time ever. I always say, put off doing today what you could do tomorrow if someone will pay you more tomorrow. What does that have to do with this commercial, you may ask? I have absolutely no idea, but I always say that. Hello, it is me again. Sebastian Gorka, back again for a few more quick bucks doing another Relief Factor commercial with uplifting intense piano and classical strings music playing in the background. A few months ago I suffered a severe ribcage injury when I was crushed by the two fat bald guys Pete and Seth Talbot while standing between them doing my 17th commercial for Relief Factor. Today should be the day you reclaim your life and live pain-free with the help of a team of chest wall injury specialists like I do, or whatever medical professionals deal with your particular pain issues. Many people who used to be somebody, like I once was, have walked the streets in Washington, D.C. Thankfully I can walk them again with the assistance of crutches and a portable oxygen tank, and I can tell you that a daily dosage of Relief Factor, along with 120 milligrams of morphine, will make you feel no pain whatsoever. I'm thankful that I'm physically able to be here to tell you to try totally drug-free Relief Factor, and 120 milligrams of morphine, and be totally pain-free until your next dose. Relief Factor is guaranteed to be 100% drug-free and contain absolutely no pain-relieving ingredients, and that is confirmed by scientists and doctors, and over 10,000 negative testimonials. I personally guarantee you that as I do more and more Relief Factor commercials, I feel less and less financial pain. So go to relieffactor.com right now so I can feel the difference. That's 1-800-367-7226. Again, that's 1-800-4-SCAM. For your quick start 30-day supply. I'll be glad you did.
Hello friends, Pat Boone here for Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilets, made by Seth and Pete Talbot of Relief Factor fame. Oh, you can't see us right now because this is a radio commercial, but I'm sitting here in my birthday suit in my Safely Step-In Tub and Toilet right between Pete and Seth Talbot.
No, Pat, this is also a television commercial.
What? Oh, well, how about that? All you TV viewers and my fans out there got a little extra treat at no extra cost. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that I know firsthand how truly life-changing Pete and Seth's Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilets can be because, well, I have 3 of them in my very own master bathroom for those times that Pete and Seth drop by for a sleepover. You can take my word for it. It's so easy to use that President Biden could even figure it out. After just a few tries, most people make it in safely almost every time. All Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilets like mine have a patented micro-soothe therapy system that shoots out of 10 high-pressure water jets and circulates 10 million magical micro-bubbles per minute. Yes, magical micro-bubbles that are made of a mixture of air and Relief Factor gel and a special proprietary substance made from fentanyl. And that sticks to your skin and melts away all your worries, cares, aches, and pains like a dream. You'll be transported instantly to your own special paradise, like Equatorial Guinea, Tijuana, Mexico, the demilitarized zone of Korea, or maybe even Beijing, China. Your mind, your body, and spirit deserve a trip to Nirvana. Oh, and don't forget the best part. With your Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilet, you will save space and eliminate the unsightly toilet bowl in your bathroom, because Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilets build their especially designed toilet right in the tub seat with you. So friends, you're no longer limited to just peeing while you're taking your shower. When it's time for your morning bath and constitutional, all you have to do is literally get up and go. All in one convenient location. And with your Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilet, there is no longer the need for costly and unsightly toilet tissue because 2 of the 10 high-power pressure jets are focused right at the problem area, right down the middle, just like I like it. And with a slight adjustment of the pressure jets, Your safely step-in tub and toilet serves as enema nozzles that relieve the lower bowel obstructions. So, give Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilet a call today to set up your free, no-obligation consultation and experience all of this for yourself or with your friends and family. You'll love your Safely Step-In Combination Tub and Toilet. You can take my word for it, because I'm Pat Boone, the only wholesome young singer in the 1950s.
After Brick and I left Chief O'Malley, we had a serious conversation on the way back to our office. I was concerned about Brick's seemingly growing problem with his inability to recall words and his general state of confusion. I was worried that his brain injuries were the problem. I convinced him to make an appointment with his longtime friend and personal physician, Dr. Hidari. Brick agreed to go in for a checkup. After the initial checkup, Dr. Hidari sent Brick for a CAT scan. At first Brick resisted. He said that he did not like cats and asked if it was possible to arrange for a dog, or some other animal to scan him. After Dr. Hidari explained that the CAT scan was a computed tomography, or CT scan, which uses a combination of X-rays and a computer to see inside his head, Brick said yeah, I knew that, and then agreed to the scan. The results of his CAT scan and other procedures revealed that his problems were caused by his previous head injuries, as we all suspected. The good news was that there was a new miracle drug being tested called Genius Factor that Dr. Hidari was able to acquire for Brick. The drug was able to maximize undamaged brain cells and greatly increase mental power. Brick took advantage of Dr. Hidari's offer, and after a period of 6 weeks, Brick's mental powers did increase tremendously. His cognitive capabilities increased to astonishing levels, and as a result, so did our detective business. But on the rare occasion when he missed a dosage, Brick returned to his lovable but confused self until his next dose took effect. We have continued to prosper in our business and we are living very well following the Dave Ramsey 7 baby step plan. Brick is in the news frequently for solving difficult crimes and he is sought by police agencies and colleges as a guest speaker. As a certified private investigator, I handle the day-to-day business, routine cases such as divorces and background investigations. As a lawyer I handle both civil and criminal cases that do not conflict with Brick's work at the police department. I started planning for a charitable organization that will address the needs of abused computerized equipment, robots, androids, and cyborgs when the future need arises. Brick told me that such a charity was a bit premature, but I will be ready when the time comes. We have prospered, due in part to my adherence to Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps plan, and we were able to get that nice house on the beach and the little doodle dog I dreamed of. We named our little doodle dog, Little Doodle Dog. Brick is the man of my dreams too. He is the strong, masculine, mighty, forceful and robust man I have fallen in love with in spite of him dumping me at the Goodwill store with Big Hugo back when we first met. There has been a lull in crime on Fort Myers Beach for the last year, due largely to Brick's investigative prowess. There are sayings among the criminal class on Fort Myers Beach, such as you don't want to get hit with a brick, or careful, or you will run into the brick wall. Then last week there was a major crime committed on Fort Myers Beach, which required Brick Benson, the ace detective, to be at his best. It was the cold-blooded murder of a real estate lady who was the lone salesperson at a new model home at a remote site at the southern end of Fort Myers Beach. We received a call from Chief O'Malley early in the evening while we were watching Sherlock Holmes on TV. The chief sounded anxious. Hello?
Hello, Vader. This is Chief O'Malley. Is Brick there? I couldn't get him on his cell phone, so I called you.
Yes, Chief. Hold on for a moment. Probably less. In all probability it will probably be more like a minute. That is only an estimate, you understand. I should have said in a jiffy or some other more obvious idiom to clearly indicate that I meant in a brief period of time.
Yes, I understand, Vader. Go get him as quickly as possible, please. We have a murder report. I need Brick to get to the scene as soon as possible.
Certainly, Chief. He went out to the garage for something. He did not say what he went out for. He just said that he had to go to the garage for a moment. He wasn't precise about the time because he has been out there for 10 minutes and 23 seconds and counting.
Yes, Vader. Please get him for me.
Yes, Chief. I am going to get him now. I will take my cell phone to him. I will not attempt an exact estimation the time that I will get to him because...
Please, it's very important.
Okay, Chief, I am getting him now. Brick?
Yeah, babe?
Chief O'Malley is on my phone for you.
On your phone? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't have mine with me.
He tried to call you, but you did not answer.
Brick, Sandra.
I left my phone on the charger while I came out here to find my reading glasses. They don't seem to be here. Have you seen them?
Yes, dear.
Where'd you see them last?
Sandra.
I see them now, darling.
Hello.
You do? Where?
You are wearing them, darling.
Well, why didn't you say so?
I did not know that you were looking for them, sweetheart.
I mean, why didn't you say so when I asked you?
Oh, Brick,
I did say so when you asked, darling.
Sandra.
Oh, you did, didn't you, baby? Sorry, love.
It is all right, darling.
I thought my eyes were very blurry when I was looking for them.
Brick, Sandra, guys, please.
3.25 strength readers would make distant things look blurry.
Yeah, they would.
Hi, Chihuahua. Brick.
That should have given you a clue.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Brick.
Thank God. I thought maybe I was going blind or I had a tumor or something.
Brick, darling, did you forget to take your genius factor again?
Yeah, here they are in my pocket. I forgot. Darn.
I should have reminded you.
It's not your fault, baby.
Hello, Brick.
There's no hurry.
Sandra.
Well, I should have reminded you. I feel bad. Oh my goodness.
What's the matter?
Oh, good gracious me.
What?
Yes, there is a hurry.
Why?
I hope your pills take effect quickly.
What? Why?
Both of us got distracted and forgot.
Forgot. Forgot what?
Chief O'Malley is on my cell phone.
Theta, why didn't you tell me the chief was on the phone?
I just did.
Oh, yeah.
There has been a murder.
A murder?
They need you.
Sandra, guys, please.
Give me the phone.
Here.
Oh, good Lord. Hello, Chief?
Brick. Oh, I hope I'm not bothering you.
No, Chief. Sorry. I misplaced my glasses.
Brick, do you need your glasses to talk on the phone?
No, I'm really sorry about that. Theta said there's been a murder?
Yes. I could have told you that myself 2 minutes ago if you would have answered the phone.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. It's just that I was...
Yeah, never mind. Just come to the station and pick me up and I will fill you in on the way to the scene.
I'm on my way, Chief. I'll be there in 15 minutes.
Brick, do you want me to come with you to help with the investigation?
No, baby. I'll call you if there's a problem that the guys can't handle, you know. You want me to leave the CRV for you?
If you don't mind taking the Corolla.
No, that's fine. Look, I was going to feed little doodle dog. Would you do that for me?
Yes. I love you.
Love you more.
Impossible. Little doodle dog, say goodbye to Daddy.
See you later, you cute little mutt.
He is not a mutt.
I was talking to you.
That's mean. I am not a mutt. According to Current.com, mutt is a derogatory term, shortened from muttonhead. It is based on the assumption that sheep, the source of mutton, are stupid. When applied to people, it means slow or dim-witted.
I meant that in a good way, Fade. I meant to say, see you later, cutie butt.
No, you did not.
But it just came out wrong.
No, it did not come out wrong.
Yes, it did come out wrong. You do have a cute butt. No, I'm sorry.
You are sorry that I have a cute butt?
What? No, I'm sorry about calling you a cute mutt.
You are sorry that you called me cute? Or are you sorry you called me a mutt?
I'm really sorry I said anything, because I was really referring to little doodle dog as a mutt, but jokingly, I thought. And I said I was referring to you. It was a joke, Theta. What?
It is all right, dear. I know. I forgive you.
Well, thanks a bunch. Real funny, dear.
I will see you later, you cute little bastard.
What? Hey, bastard means...
Oh, I know what it means, but I meant it in a good way. We are using dog terms, are we not? You called me a cute little mutt, so I called you a cute little bastard. We are even.
Oh, no, we're not even. Oh, no.
Yes, we are even.
No, we are not even.
We are even, Steven.
Not even close to even. We are uneven. We are uneven with squeevin.
Uneven Max Squeevin?
Yes.
That's silly.
Is not.
We are even.
Are not.
Are.
Well, I picked up Chief O'Malley at headquarters around 4:30 p.m., and we headed out to Estero Boulevard to a Flamingo Drive to meet with Detective Tony Goomba. Unfortunately, I forgot to take my Genius Factor pills this morning, so I was more than 6 hours late taking them, and I was noticeably foggy-brained. Dr. Adori warned me that I should not be late taking my pills. Now I see why. So, I downed the missed dose with a can of Red Bull, and I took an extra pill hoping that the increased dosage would kick everything in before I had to start working this murder investigation. Note to self, to be safe, have Feta set her internal timer and remind me of when my doses of Genius Factor are due. By the time we arrived at the crime scene, the pills kicked in big time. I felt like I was 20 years old. We arrived just after 5 o'clock. When we met with Tony, he told us that he had contacted an eyewitness to the murder who called FMB headquarters to report the murder on his cell phone. He left his number with dispatch. The witness was Clark Powell, a waiter at South Seas Plantation on Captiva Island. He told Tony he witnessed the murder of Miss Sandra Mandrin, a recently divorced real estate agent with Fort Myers Beach Realty. He told Tony that while he was walking his dog near the beachfront property, his dog slipped his leash and ran onto the property and up to the back porch glass doors. He told Tony that when he went to the porch to get his dog, he saw someone inside wearing dark clothes and a black ski mask sneak up behind Miss Mandrin. He did not know if it was a man or a woman. Mrs. Mandrin was seated at the table facing out toward the beach. He said the subject sneaked up behind the victim and stabbed her in the back. Powell told Tony he was frightened and ran from the property and down the beach and called the police on his cell phone when he got some distance away from the home. Tony said he took Powell's preliminary statement over the phone. Powell said he left the area because he was a waiter at South Seas Plantation on Captive Island and he had to be at work by 5 o'clock. He would be available tomorrow if we needed more information from him until he had to be back at work at 5 p.m. Tony entered the crime scene with Officer Lorenz and found Mrs. Mandrin seated at the table. She was bent forward on a chair, face down on the table, facing the glass doors toward the beach. There was a carving knife matching the style from the kitchen in her back. A knife was missing from the kitchen set. There was no sign of a struggle. Mrs. Mandrin was the only real estate employee at the property, which was situated between two other homes that were for sale. There are 5 occupied homes in the street, approximately 2 blocks from the scene of the crime. Mrs. Mandrin was the only salesperson showing the model homes that day. Only visits by appointment were admitted for tours, and according to the agency, there were only 4 visitors scheduled for a tour today. Mrs. Mandrin had already filled out 3 of the 4 tour cards earlier in the day, and there was 1 tour reservation card remaining on the table next to her body. That reservation was for a late visit scheduled around 5 o'clock for a Mrs. William Gray. Mrs. Gray was a no-show as of the time of our arrival. The last person to visit was Ted Stevenson, a retired investment manager from Ohio. Stevenson toured at 2 p.m. Tony had already contacted Mr. Stevenson on his cell phone number that was listed on the tour card. Stevenson was staying at the Diamond Head Beach Resort on Fort Myers Beach. He told Tony that Mrs. Mandrin was alive and well at 1:30 when he toured the home. He said he returned immediately to his suite at the resort after the tour. Tony contacted Fort Myers Beach Realty, where Mrs. Mandrin was employed. He found out from Bill Osterman, the office manager, that he had spoken by phone with Mrs. Mandrin at approximately 1:45. She told him at that time that she had met with 3 people and was going to stay at the model home until her 5 o'clock appointment. She told Osterman that she was a bit tired and would probably lay her head on the table and take a short nap before the 5 o'clock appointment. Tony was unable to contact Mrs. Mandrin's ex-husband, Kerry Mandrin, via his cell phone or at his home phone. Mr. Mandrin is a lawyer, the managing partner at Mandrin & Pine, and he's supposed to be at a conference in Orlando until tomorrow, according to his secretary, Susan Webster.
311, 310?
Go ahead, 311.
Yeah, are you on the way?
We're almost there, 311. 101 is 1012.
Good. The CSI guys are there and they're anxious to get to the crime scene.
Yeah. Tell Murphy to relax. We'll be there in a minute and we'll be out of his hair in no time.
Brick, I'm assigning Tony to his investigation with you. Is that okay with you?
Of course, Chief. Tony's my partner.
Do you need any additional help at this time, Brick?
Tony and I should be good for right now, Chief. I'll let CSI go in after Tony and I take a look at the scene. If you don't mind, just ask him to kick back in the truck for a few minutes.
Yes, I will do that. Anything else?
I'm sure we're going to need some more assistance later. Hold on. 301 dispatch. 301 and 101 are 1097 at 405 Flamingo Drive. I'll be 1017 here for about for a while.
1721, carry 015. You two returning, sir, 1721.
Hello?
Chief, it's Sally. The mayor is in your office.
He is? Hi, Chihuahua.
He wants to see you about the murder.
Tell him I'm on the way.
Yes, Chief.
Get him some coffee or something.
Yes, Chief.
That was Sally.
Problem?
Chase, the mayor is waiting in my office to talk to me about the murder. I am in for some real fun, you know.
It's great to be me and not you right now, Chief. Don't worry. I'll handle this. I'll let you know as soon as I have any new information. When do you expect the medical examiner to get here?
We notified them earlier, Brick. They said they will be here by 6.
Thanks, Chief. We should be able to wrap this up in no time.
Brick, it's up to you and Tony now. Please, clear this up quick. The mayor's going to be all over me until this is cleared.
No problem, Chief. I will. That's what you brought me back in for, wasn't it? Like old times?
Yes. Just like old times before that warehouse fell on your head, I hope.
No problem, Chief. Dr. Dari has me on this new medication. I'm firing on all cylinders now. It really is quite incredible. I remember everything I see and read. I don't even need much sleep. In fact, I haven't slept for 2 days, and I feel great.
2 days? Brick, that doesn't seem very healthy.
Nah, don't worry about it, Chief. I feel great. Peyton and I'll take a few days off when we clear this murder up. Hey, Chief, would you have someone contact all the people that we know of who are involved in this matter? Have them meet me in the morning at headquarters.
Yes, I'll do that. Here comes Tony. I'll see you, Brick. I'll get a ride back with the patrol. Hey, Brick. I'm glad you're here.
Hey, Tony, take it easy. You're going to give yourself a heart attack.
Yeah. I need to get back in the gym.
Yeah, what's it been, 5 years?
Probably. Time flies when you aren't sweating.
I hear you. So, we have ourselves a little murder, huh?
Yeah. What a shame. The sales lady was here all alone, and somebody stabbed her in the back.
Well, let's get started, Tony. You spoke with the witness?
Yeah, I took his statement over the phone. Whew.
You okay?
Yeah. He didn't know who the killer was, or even if it was a man or a woman. He said he'd be available all day tomorrow until he had to be back at work at 5 o'clock at South Seas Plantation. He's a waiter there.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him tonight, but don't worry about it now. Right now, we need to conduct our walkthrough as expeditiously as possible and let the CSI team do its work.
Yeah.
You know how grumpy Sergeant Murphy gets when he has to wait.
Yeah.
So we need to glean enough information from this scene to point us in the right direction, or hopefully, as I always strive to do, solve the crime immediately.
Yeah.
The answer to the crime is at the scene.
It is?
All we have to do is find it. As you know, my dear Goomba, Locard's principle holds that the perpetrator of the crime has brought something into the scene and has taken something from it. And both can be used as forensic evidence.
Brick, who is Locard's principal? What school is he a principal at?
Very funny, Tony. Your levity boosts my spirits.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping. Good old Principal Locard is always good for a laugh, isn't he?
Very funny, Tony. And all jesting aside, Tony, has anyone from the department looked around outside, around the house?
No, Brick, not that I know of. I'm pretty sure not. Officer Lorenz is the first responding officer, and he secured the crime scene till we arrived.
Splendid. Please make a note that we need to inquire at the department to see if anyone besides the three of us has entered the crime scene. If anyone has, I want a statement from each of them as per procedure. No exceptions.
Sure, Brick, but I doubt we'll find anyone besides the three of us were there. So far, Officer Lorenz and me are the only ones who entered the house. I just glanced at the body. I noticed that a knife of the same style as the one in Miss Mandrin's back is missing from the knife block in the kitchen. There's a bloody towel on the floor by the table. Both the Lorenz and I were wearing gloves and shoe covers. We didn't touch anything. And as far as the other cops go, any cop with any experience at all knows if they looky-loo the crime scene, they have to write reports.
You are more than likely correct, my dear Goomba, but we must inquire nonetheless. Now let's get to it, Detective. The game is afoot.
Wow, as Theta would say, you sound just like Robert Downey Jr. in Sherlock Holmes. Oh, only completely different.
Yes, completely different. I was going for Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, who's that?
Oh, I do love your levity.
Yeah, I levitate all the time.
Let's start with the front yard, move the body, and then work our way outside to the beach. Tony, do you mind taking notes and taking some preliminary snapshots?
No, not at all, my dear Detective Benson. Did I sound just like Robert Downey Jr., only completely different?
Why, yes, Tony. You did sound absolutely and completely different. Astonishing.
Yeah. Now, I have my Sony CyberShot, some gloves and shoe covers for both of us, and some evidence markers, so I'm ready.
Very good, my dear Goomba. Hold on a minute, Tony.
What?
Look here.
Yeah?
Have you or Lorenz walked here in this dirt area alongside the sidewalk, Tony?
Not me. Maybe Officer Lorenz. I don't know about him. He was the only officer to go in the house besides me. What, you got something?
Maybe. Look. Looks like a footprint from a right shoe. About a men's size 10 or 11. Unusual.
Yeah.
Mark it, Tony, and see if you can get a close-up picture of it.
Sure.
Oh, and add a close-up of that small indented area near the heel.
10-4.
Where's Lorenz? We need to get a look at his shoes before we waste time.
Got it. Hold on, I'll radio him. I think he's still checking the neighborhood up the street. Officer Lorenz, this is Detective Goomba.
Yes, Detective?
What's your location?
I'm on my way back to the scene, Detective. I was checking to see if any of the neighbors had any information.
Any luck?
A little. House is occupied. The restaurant of town. The lady at the 702 Flamingo said her husband won't be back until late. She doesn't know anything, but her husband was working in the yard most of the day and may have seen something. She didn't know.
Okay, we'll see you when you get here.
Okay, Detective.
Hey, Tony, tell him we need to see if his shoe prints match some prints along the walkway.
Okay, Officer Lorenz?
Yes, Detective.
Detective Benson found some shoe prints along the walkway. He wants to see if they might match yours.
Hey, Detective, but I don't think so. I avoided the dirt area leading up to the house. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Okay, 10-4, Lorenz.
And Lorenz is a good officer. I'm sure those prints won't match his.
Yeah, probably not. That print does look a little bit different from a normal shoe footprint.
Yeah.
But it's not real clear. Let me try a different angle.
Yep, let me move.
Yeah, there. Yeah, the light from this angle makes the picture clearer. Yeah, it looks like some kind of a indentation there at the front of the print and here at the heel. Kind of like a double sole.
Yeah.
That looks like a cut in the sole, maybe. Okay, I got it.
Good, let's go on. Tony.
Yeah, Brick?
Here's another one by the steps. A left shoe print. No apparent flaws in the print, but the same unusual sole print.
Okay, got it.
Well, let's put on our gloves and shoe covers.
Oh, yeah, here they are.
Have you ever been in a house like this, Tony?
No, only when Officer Lorenz and I went in there earlier. It's huge. Like you see in the movies, like a movie star home, you know?
I thought my home was nice. It's nothing compared to this baby. I'm glad Theta didn't see this when we were looking.
Could you guys afford a home like this, Brick?
Yeah, I could if I was working for China and my dad was the president of the United States. We're comfortable, Tony, but not this comfortable. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wow, what a place. Look at all this marble.
Yeah, listen. It sounds like we're in a cathedral, doesn't it? Hello?
How would you know that, Tony? When have you been in a cathedral?
Well, I haven't, but I've seen movies. Well, there she is. Who'd have thought she'd get murdered in a model home in the Ritz area of Fort Myers Beach in the state of DeSantis land?
Well, crime is everywhere these days.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's the cost of putting Democrats in high office. Thank God for Ron DeSantis, huh?
Yeah, he's the man.
Good Lord, Tony, I've never seen a chair this tall.
Yeah, it's as tall as me.
I said tall, Tony, not small.
Oh, that's real funny, Brick. Those lefties would call you a heightist, you know.
A heightist?
Yeah, you know, like a sexist or a racist, only you make fun of short people.
Oh, yeah, I'm a heightist. I'll have to remember that one. Wow, this is high-quality full-grain leather, Tony.
Yeah, that's one hell of a chair, ain't it?
Yeah.
How much you think a chair like that cost?
Well, more than you and I can afford on just a cop's salary, Tony. That knife is indubitably a knife from the set over there in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's doubly what I thought, too. What's so funny?
Nothing. You just reminded me of me.
Huh? I did?
Yeah.
Thanks?
Tony?
Yeah?
Oh, those knives are all Sunkaji knives.
Sunkaji?
Yeah. That set cost $3,500 at Williams-Sonoma. I looked it up when Fade and I were shopping for kitchenware for our beach house.
Well, your house is almost as nice as this one, Brick.
Well, Fada would say exactly the same, except totally different.
Yeah.
A few $1 million difference. Tony?
Yeah, Brick?
This is not a premeditated murder.
Huh? How do you know that, Brick?
No one brings an expensive Sunkaji knife with them to commit a murder. A knife that just happens to match a missing piece from a set at the crime scene? That doesn't add up. That knife was a weapon of opportunity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tony, look here.
What?
There's a tan mark on a ring
Oh, yeah.
finger. It's obviously where a ring was. It was a large ring. Possibly it was taken by the murderer.
Yeah. So you think the murderer killed her for the ring, Brick?
Possibly, yeah. Or it could just be that she just quit wearing the ring after a divorce.
Yeah.
Look, we need to make contact with her ex-husband. Maybe he can shed some light on the missing ring. And as the ex-husband, he remains a main suspect until we can clear him.
Yeah, Brick, but he's in Orlando, according to his secretary.
Well, we need to confirm that he is actually at the convention today and ask him about the missing ring. It's quite conceivable that Mrs. Mandrin removed the ring herself, but it might have been an expensive ring, and Mr. Mandrin could have murdered her and took it with him.
Yeah, you're right, Brick. It's very possible.
Yes, it's possible, but unlikely. Tony, something is wrong here. Call the chief. Ask him to have someone try and make contact with Mr. Mandrin again and confirm that he is actually at the conference in Orlando. And if he is, find out exactly when he arrived there. And find out if someone can place him in Orlando today at the time of the murder. Tell the chief we need to speak to Mr. Mandrin as soon as possible. And we need to take a little ride to Captiva to Southeast Plantation to talk to the witness. I'm going to look around out back, but from what I see and hear, I have a good idea of who murdered Mrs. Mandrin.
Wow, no kidding? Who do you think did it, Brick? Mr. Mandrin?
I'll let you know after I look around outside. You go ahead and call the chief. Very interesting.
Hey, Brick.
Yeah, Tony?
I called headquarters. They already made contact with Mr. Mandrin. He's heading back now. The desk manager confirmed that Mr. Mandrin was there all day. I have his cell number here. I'll call him.
Oh, no need to call Mandrin, Tony.
Oh, okay. Officer Lorenz stopped by. He's going back to headquarters. Saw his shoes. They're combat boots with threaded soles, and he's a size 12. No match to our shoe print.
Yeah, I didn't think there would be a match.
Hey, you want to go out in the yard now and look around?
There's no need to go out in the yard, Tony. First, call Fort Myers Beach Realty and ask them who does the yard maintenance here. And get their number for me, will you?
Okay, what's up?
Just do it quickly while there's still a chance there might be somebody at the office. I feel certain now I know who killed Mrs. Mandrin. And when I talk to the maintenance people, I'll know for sure. All that will be left will be tying a few loose ends together and making an arrest.
Really? Oh, okay, Brick.
Isn't that a pretty yard, Tony? You ever seen the sand done like that?
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
It's called Sansu.
Okay, the phone's ringing. Hold on. It's kind of late, maybe they're all gone. Oh, wait.
Fort Myers Beach Realty. This is Carl.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Carl.
I'm sorry, but we're closed right now. Can you call back tomorrow?
Carl, this will only take a second. This is Detective Tony Goomba with the Fort Myers Beach Police Department.
Oh, yes, Detective. How can I help you?
I just need to know who does the landscape care at the model homes down here on Flamingo Drive. Can you tell me that?
Oh, certainly. Just a second. Yes, that would be the Love and Care Landscape Service. Their number is... Are you ready?
Yes, go ahead.
239-340-9797.
Oh, thanks, Carl.
No problem.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Rick, it's the Love and Care Landscape Service. 239-340-9797.
Got it. Thank you.
Love and Care Landscape Service. This is Tammy. How can I help you?
Yeah. Hello, Tammy. I'm glad you're still there.
We're here until all the service trucks have returned.
This is Detective Benson with the Fort Myers Beach Police Department.
Yes, Officer Benson. How can I help you?
It's Detective Benson.
Sorry, Detective Benson. Excuse me, Detective. Are you that famous ace detective that is always on the news?
Why, yes. That would be me, Tammy.
Forgive me for saying this, but on TV you look so sexy and so...
Strong and masterful, mighty forceful and robust.
Yes, exactly.
No need to apologize, Moneypenny. Tammy. I get that a lot. Tammy, I'm calling you in regards to an investigation I'm conducting.
Oh, is there a problem, Detective?
Not for you or your company, Tammy. I understand that you folks handle the yard and landscape care at the model homes here on Flamingo Drive.
Yes, Detective, we do.
Well, it's extraordinary Sansu landscape art, I must say.
Thank you, Detective.
One detective, Tammy. One detective only.
Good heavens. When you said one detective only just then, you sounded just like...
Sean Connery in Red October, Tammy?
Yes. When he said one ping only.
Yes, I get that a lot too. Tammy, I need to know when your people last manicured the properties on Flamingo Drive.
We serviced it today, Detective. Sorry, I mean Detective Benson.
I thought so. What time was the work completed?
Let me see. Yes. It was completed at 1 p.m. today. Can I ask why?
It's a police matter, Tammy, but it has nothing to do with the quality of your service. It is most excellent indeed. I see you use the Japanese Zen garden style, quite akin to the original style of Zen master Musukokushi during the Muromachi period.
Yes, if you say so, Detective. We are fortunate to have our very own Zen garden artist, Haruki Takahashi. He was trained at the Portland International Japanese Garden Training Center in Oregon.
Well, he certainly does excellent work. Please give him my compliments. Thank you very much, Tammy.
It was nice talking to you, Detective Benson. Detective, if you need anything else from me, I will get off in an hour.
That sounds disturbingly familiar, Tammy. I'm quite confident you will get off if you want. But I have no further questions at this time. Thank you.
But Detective, we could meet.
Thank you very much, Tammy. Goodbye. Tony?
Yeah, Brick?
Isn't that sand art beautiful with all its delicate patterns?
Oh, it sure is.
Pristine and unblemished, wouldn't you say?
Very beautiful.
Yes, but a terrible contrast to the murder in there at the table, isn't it? Just look at her lying there face down on that table.
Yeah, I guess it is, but I can't see her in there through that reflective glass.
Neither can I, my dear Tony. Neither can I. Let's let the CSI team take over. You and I are off to the South Seas plantation to bring Mr. Powell in for further questioning regarding Mrs. Mandrin's murder.
What? He already gave me his statement, Rick. He can't identify the murderer. He doesn't know who it was. He's available until 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
He'll be available for far longer than that, Tony.
Well?
And you will see that he is the absolutely best eyewitness to the murder, Tony. We shall prove that he is, in fact, the murderer.
He is?
I'll explain it all to you on the way to Captiva.
Mr. Rippemoff?
Yes, Dorothy?
A reporter and crew from News Center 7 Wastebusters are here to see you, sir.
News Center 7?
Wastebusters. They expose mind-boggling waste of taxpayers' money right here in the Miami Valley.
What do they want with me?
They said you sold the government a ballpoint pen, sir.
So?
For $1,000.
Well, it came with refills.
And a jar of paper clips for $2,000.
They were multicolored paper clips.
Uh-huh.
Red ones, blue ones.
What should I tell the Wastebusters, sir?
Do they have lights and cameras?
And the ballpoint pen, sir.
Tell them I went out my window, down the fire escape, and then booked down the street screaming like a madman.
I don't think they'll believe that, sir. Mr. Rippemoff?
Watch News Center 7 expose government waste right here in the Miami Valley and see the Wastebusters in action.
You can't escape them, sir! They're the Wastebusters!
News Center 7 Wastebusters. Weeknights at 6. Coverage you can count on.
They'll find him.
Well, Tony and I started out on our way to South Seas Plantation on Captiva Island to question Clark Powell about his claim to have been an eyewitness to the murder of Miss Sandra Mankin. Earlier, when I was driving Chief O'Malley to the crime scene, the 2 Genius Factor tablets I'd washed down in a can of Red Bull kicked in big time. I began thinking more clearly than ever. Everything was as clear as a bell in my head. Well, not only were the pieces of information about this murder beginning to fall into place like some kind of a self-completing jigsaw puzzle, but while I was driving and talking with the chief, for some reason I calculated pi to 6,400 digits. Just a few days ago, I just thought pi was a pastry, not the ratio of the circumference of any circle to the diameter of that circle. While we drove to Sanibel and Captiva Island, I explained to Tony how I knew that Clark Powell killed Sandra Mankin and why. I told him that when I saw Mrs. Mankin's body at the table, I realized that she had been stabbed while she was leaning forward at the table, probably napping as she told her boss she was planning to do while she was waiting for her 5 o'clock appointment to arrive. I asked Tony if he noticed that the blood on Mankin's back had pooled around the entry point of the knife blade and how it ran uniformly onto the table and floor. The fact that the blood did not run down her back and onto the chair showed that she was not in an upright seated position at the time the stabbing occurred. Because the angle of the knife blade was perpendicular to her back, it indicated to me that she was leaning forward at the table and was stabbed in a straight downward motion. That could not have been done if Mandrin was seated upright on the chair, because the unusual height of the chair back would have prevented her killer from stabbing her in such a way. It was obvious to me that the killer entered the home via the front door, found Miss Mandrin leaning forward on the table asleep. There were no signs of a struggle, which indicated that the killer had not knocked on the door or called out or done anything that would have wakened Miss Mandrin, and he entered the home without disturbing her. As the killer approached Mandrin, he must have seen that she was asleep and might have noticed she was wearing an expensive ring and possibly other jewelry, and decided at that moment to murder her for the jewelry. So, he went to the knife block, took the knife out, and stabbed her while she slept. I told Tony that I had no doubt that Powell was the murderer.
Wow, Rick, yeah. Everything you said, it seems to make sense. But it seems really odd that someone would come to visit a model home and just decide to kill a lady in the sleep for her jewelry. It seems more likely that the killer knew her and knew she'd be here today and had some personal reason to kill her.
Yeah, Tony, that's a standard theory that seems to fit this scenario. As is the theory that her husband, who also might have known she was here today, hired someone to come and kill her. Either theory could be true, and we'll find out that later in the investigation. The one thing I'm certain of is that Clark Powell is the murderer, for whatever reason, because of his eyewitness account and the conditions at the crime scene.
Oh, yeah, that's Sam's son yard work.
Sansu, Tony.
Oh, yeah, Sansu. Yeah, I knew that.
It did, huh? Well, now I know what Fada feels like when she talks to me.
What?
Never mind, Tony. Look, neither Mr. Powell nor his dog, even if he has a dog, ran onto this property. And even if they did, as you know, he could not have seen into the house because of the reflective glass on the porch doors.
Oh, yeah, right. He had to have been in the house to even know that she was stabbed.
Well, Tony, as Desi Arnaz always said, Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Who's Desi Arnaz and who's Lucy?
Tony, did you ever have access to a television when you were growing up?
No. We were always a radio family. Everything's better when you have to listen and let your imagination do the work, you know?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Intelligent people listen to radio plays. They know that radio plays require imagination and allow the mind to create the characters and scenes in their mind. Anywho, Powell murdered Mandrin in accordance with what the principle of parsimony says.
You sure know a lot of principles, Brick. I don't even remember any of my teachers. I never heard of parsimony. Was that your high school? You know, I thought you went to Cypress Lake High.
Tony, I'm talking about Occam's razor. No ocula ocumi, which states that entities should not be multiplied beyond necessity.
Rick, are you feeling all right, pal? Maybe we should go see Dr. Hamadari.
I'm fine, Tony. In fact, I'm great.
Rick, listen to yourself. You just said that some principal named Occam at some school named Parsimony has a razor that talks to him that says you shouldn't multiply entities. Even if you do feel great, that does sound a little weird.
Tony, what I'm saying is that when you have several theories that compete with each other about something, it's usually the simplest theory that's the answer.
Oh? Well, it didn't sound like you said that. Of course, I'm just basing that on what you actually said.
Oh, Lord. It was so much easier before the genius factor thing.
It sure was for me, I can tell you that.
Look, Tony, it's obvious that Clark Powell had first-hand information of Sandra Mandrin's murder, but not simply as a witness. He had to be in the room with her. He didn't enter by the back porch. It's also obvious that whoever killed Mandrin used a weapon of convenience to kill her. That, of course, would be the knife from the knife block. Now, at this point, we're uncertain about his motive, but nonetheless, we have probable cause to arrest Powell for Mandrin's murder. So, the simplest answer to who killed Mandrin is that Clark Powell did it.
Well, why did you just say that in the first place instead of telling me that some principal named Occam had a razor that talks to him and told him that Clark Powell was the simplest answer to who committed the murder? It sounds like Joe Biden might have said that in one of his speeches. Of course, he would have concluded that Donald Trump did it.
Well, of course he would have. I guess you're right, though, partner. My answer was probably labyrinthine.
Yeah, and it was very confusing.
That's what labyrinthine... never mind.
But tell me something, Brick. Why would Powell report the murder and place himself at the crime scene?
Well, it might be because he was seen at the murder scene by someone, or he had reason to think he was seen by someone. It's certain that Powell didn't enter the home by the back door, so he must have entered and left through the front. It might be that someone drove by or walked by when he entered or left the home. So the best plan he could come up with on the spur of the moment was to call in the crime as a murder he witnessed and try to put himself on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, but we're going to cook his wild goose, ain't we, Brick?
We sure are, Tony.
Hey, Brick, according to what Officer Renz told me, there's nobody living in that subdivision at this time, and all the visitations there today have been by appointment. The home showings have only been advertised for 2 days now, so the location is so remote that there haven't been any walk-ins yet.
Tony, something made Powell think it was a good idea to call this in as a murder he witnessed. It's a bit strange, but regardless, we have enough information to arrest him right now.
CS1 310.
Yeah, go ahead, CS1.
Brick, are you close by? Some guy stopped by here, so we started working the scene. When he found out what we were doing, he said he had some information he might want.
10-4, Mike. We're just about a block from the station on our way to South Seas Plantation to talk to the witness. Ask him to stand by there, will you, and we'll head back.
10-4.
We'll be there in a few minutes.
I wonder what you got for us.
Yeah, me too. 310, back to CS1.
CS1, go ahead.
Mike, did you guys see those shoe prints we marked alongside the walk?
That's 10-4.
Those sole prints are a bit unusual. You ever see anything like that?
That's 10-4. They look like sole guards or slip protectors that kitchen workers put on their shoes, to keep them slipping on wet or greasy kitchen floors. Probably a kitchen worker or a waiter, something like that. Does that ring any bell for you?
That's 10-4, Mike. It makes a lot of sense to my investigation. Give me the best shots of that as you can, of that right footprint where it seems to be like a cut in the slip protector, will you?
10-4. Hey, good to have you back, Rick.
10-4, Mike. Thanks. It's good to be back. 310 out. Well, Tony, if Pal has slip protectors on his shoes and the right shoe protector has a cut on it, we'll have Pal at the front door of the house and the noose will tighten more.
Yeah, it'll be real hard for Powell to explain his way out of all those holes in his story.
Well, I hope this guy we're going to see has enough dirt on Powell to bury him. You know, Tony, I'm getting a little foggy brain. Those Genius Factor pills Dr. Hidari gave me, they really drained me, you know. I probably shouldn't have taken that extra tablet. I was worried because I missed my regular dose.
Yeah, are you sure those pills are safe, Brick? They haven't been approved by the FDA yet, have they?
No, Tony, but I'm pretty sure they're safe. Dr. Hidari says they have amazing effects on rats in the current studies. The rats in the studies have increased in their ability to find their way out of mazes by 75%. They develop the enhanced ability to determine good outcomes from bad outcomes based on intellectual improvements of their inherent naturally high similarity-based categorization strategies vis-a-vis humans under normal circumstances.
What the heck does that mean, Brick?
Well, Tony, it means that the intellectual abilities of the rats, which are naturally high compared to most creatures, are enhanced by 75% under the influence of the ingredients of the Genius Factor medication.
So all the natural investigative abilities you already have should be increased by 75% when you take the Genius Factor tablets, Brick?
That, my dear Goomba, is the assumption. And over the time since I started taking it, that's been the result.
But, Brick, you ain't no rat. No one knows what the long-term effects on the humans could be. You could turn into some kind of a horrible creature like, in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I seriously doubt that, Tony.
Well, what about side effects, Brick? Have you noticed anything strange or unusual?
Any side effects have been very minor, other than the extreme foggy brain feeling I get when the pills begin to wear off, and the fact that I can go for long periods of time without sleeping. But I don't consider that a bad thing, you know. It allows me to concentrate on the cases I'm working on and getting lots of work done around the house, you know. Oh, I have developed an unusual craving for cheese and berries and uncooked grains of all kinds. Oh, yeah, and chewing on cardboard boxes. One thing that's a little disturbing is that I developed ailurophobia.
What kind of phobia is that, Rick?
Ailurophobia is a fear of cats, Tony.
You've always been afraid of cats, Brick.
No, Tony, I've always hated cats. I was never afraid of them, but now, I panic when I see one. And lately, I've had nightmares of being chased and eaten by a cat.
Kind of like if you were a rat, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Last night I did dream that I was exercising, you know. I was running in a Ferris wheel kind of thing when a big cat came after me and started chasing me.
Oh, a Ferris wheel thing, you know? Like an exercise wheel that pet rats have?
Yeah.
That sounds very strange, Brick. Maybe you should tell Dr. Hidari about that. The Genius Factor pills could be dangerous, you know?
Nah. Only 2 out of 5 of the rats in the study have died during this study.
Hold on a second, Rick. Is your brain still functioning at a high level right now?
Yeah, I'm just a little foggy. Why? What are you doing with your phone?
I'm trying to calculate what percentage 5 mice is of 2 mice.
You don't need a computer for that, Tony. It's very simple. You just You just divide 2 by 5, then multiply the result by 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now hold on. 2 divided by 5 equals 0.4. Then I multiply the result by 100 bricks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Darn, I hit the divide button again. That's 0.0040. Is that close enough, Brick?
No.
Hold on, I'll start over again.
It's 40%, Tony. For God's sake, man, didn't you ever take basic math?
Yeah, but I only learned my times table up to 5.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, you said to multiply by 100, and I never learned the 100 times table, so I got confused, and I hit the divide button.
Tony, just let me do any math questions that might arise in the future, okay? 2 is 40% of 5.
Well, Brick, 40% of the rats dying is a lot of dead rats, ain't it?
Well, it's rats, Tony, not humans. They haven't started human trials yet. I'm the only human being taking the medication. It probably won't affect me exactly like rats because,
Because of what, Brick?
Well, because I'm Brick Benson, ace detective. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, you could end up 40% dead.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I never thought of it that way. I was thinking more positively, you know. Like 60% of the rats in the study survived. I might have overthought that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe you underthought it.
Anywho, we should clear this up by tomorrow, and then Beta and I will take some time off, and I'll lay off the pills until I talk to Dr. Hadari on Monday.
Yeah, Brick, I think that might be a good idea.
Oh, here we are.